Hey, everybody. Welcome to Service Trucks USA. I got some exciting news for you today because after trolling the entire floor of NTEA with all the top manufacturers, I finally persuaded one of my big targets, one of the guys that I have the most admiration for. I said, please come and do my podcast. And Mandar Dighe is the vice president of Knapheide. And those of you that have been around for a while, you know that Knapheide is one of the oldest and most respected manufacturers of service bodies, truck bodies, and upfits in the entire United States of America. And to say that I'm honored and thrilled would be an understatement. So, Mandar, how are you?
I'm great, KJ. Thanks for having me on. And it's been a great week here in Indianapolis at NTEA, and what an exciting time for our industry. And it was just great to see everybody and learn about what's new in our industry this week. So I'm glad we connected.
So the purpose of our podcast is to enlighten, inform, entertain a community of field service mechanics. And everything that we're doing here is for their benefit. So we're not going to do the traditional, hey, what's Knapheide doing, these days. The perspective we come at it from is, what have you done for them lately?
Oh, man.
So let's start by just talking a little bit about the history, because not everybody knows about the history of Knapheide. So can you kind of enlighten us?
I'd be glad to. I mean, Knapheide is a sixth-generation family-owned company that was founded in 1848. So we're celebrating our 176th year in business. And our company, the Hermann Heinrich Knapheide, came to the United States from Germany in 1848 and actually started the Knapheide Wagon Company. So our company actually started making wheel assemblies for wagons, horse-pulled wagons. And that eventually evolved into full wagons. And then as the industrial era progressed, it evolved into bodies for the Model T, and then into other vocational bodies throughout the years. And, today we're one of the leading work truck solutions providers in the United States. And we're very proud of our heritage. We're very proud of our family roots. And again, we love to make sure that we're helping America work, helping the people out there that utilize our vehicles, making sure they're most importantly safe, productive, and able to do their jobs efficiently on a daily basis.
So my experience with Knapheide goes back probably 30 years. I've been doing this for a little while, and you guys always struck me as an opportunistic company. The area where I probably grew the greatest amount of respect is when you guys introduced the KUV line. We had those Econoline cutaways, and as a fleet manager, I was selling those things like candy,
Yeah.
And that was a game changer. That was an area where you guys dominated.
I tell you what, I've been blessed to partially fill the shoes of my predecessor, Jim Bockenfeld, who was essential with the rest of the team at Knapheide to launch the KUV. And that product essentially has become kind of like a brand standard for our company, and you see them everywhere, right? Whether it's your a plumber coming to your house, take care of a water heater, or an electrician going to a facility to take care of some electrical issues. The KUV is kind of like I like to almost call it the everyman truck, right?
Yeah,
because it's just a great vehicle. It's covered. It allows you to have it's got great handling characteristics because it's on a van platform. And we're really proud of the heritage of the KUV and where it's come over the years. We now offer two types of KUVs. We've got our traditional steel version, but we've also launched and have seen some really good success with our aluminum version of the KUV as well. So again, that's a great product that when people come to visit us, or they come to get introduced to the Knapheide product line, the KUV is typically one of the first things that people see. And we're just really excited that we've been able to continue that momentum over the years.
And I love that. But one of the things I always want to do at these podcasts is I want to make my guest, and when I say make, wrong word, I want to encourage my guest to share their life experiences so that all of the audience can understand that, we're all human beings. We're all going through opportunities and challenges on a daily basis. So how do you personally get into this business? How did you get into the truck upfitting business in the first place?
Well, I'm going to go way back.
I like that.
I go way back. So, I am the son of immigrants from India. My parents came over in the 60s from India, and my dad landed it in Michigan, at University of Michigan, Ann
Okay.
Arbor. Go blue. And I say this, I'm a Michigan grad, I'm a go blue guy, and I'm waiting for the Lions to win that Super Bowl for their entire life, and they're getting close. But in all honesty, my parents came over. My dad became an engineer. My dad came to the United States, the University of Michigan, was an engineer, and he jumped right into the automotive industry. So, the automotive blood has been coursing through my body for my entire.
Who did he hook up with? Did he hook up with Ford
No,
or
my dad,
GM?
my dad had a great career. My dad's still with us. He's still kicking around, but he had a great career he started with Uniroyal Tire,
Mm-hmm.
and then went to General Motors, and then worked for several tier one suppliers before he retired. But then I of course, growing up in Metro Detroit, everybody, we used to say, if you're not a car person, your neighbors probably are. And I was, my family was an automotive based family. Got my degree in mechanical engineering with a subspecialty in powertrain engineering. Actually, I'm an engine guy. And then also, got my master's, my MBA, and then worked for General Motors. My career started at General Motors
Okay.
as a product engineer, and then worked my way up into work for Eaton Corporation for several years in different roles, management roles, and then I joined Knapheide about 11 years ago. So it's been great ever since.
Well, so your background is a lot more extensive
Yeah.
in terms of full understanding of the entire envelope that makes up a commercial vehicle. So you understand the mechanical components, the engine, powertrain components.
Yeah, I've run operations, so I understand the manufacturing side of it, and then of course I understand the business development and sales part of it as well. So, yeah, I think what that gives me is, I don't typically like to, toot my horn, but what it gives me a fully rounded perspective of, what you say, the value chain or the environment of commercial trucks. And it's a really exciting time to be in the industry, just given where the industry is, where the economy is, and most importantly, what the future holds. So I'm pretty excited about being in it.
So Mandar, tell me this. When we do what we do, I feel like we have a responsibility to kind of leave the place better than when we found it, right?
Sure.
And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about the lives of young people. Are you seeing any noticeable change in the type of employees that Knapheide is able to recruit? And if so, how is it affecting, your business?
Well, I think with any business, I think with any labor-based business, like, whether it's skilled labor-based business, it's pretty well known. There's challenges for finding people to keep growing the businesses. We're really fortunate in our area where we have great technical schools. We've got great high school programs that we've helped build, and we're kind of homegrowing our community to provide us with what we need, to communities, I should say, because we're located around the country now with our truck equipment centers. We're home growing our communities to to provide us with, future team members that really understand and embrace what it takes to be in the manufacturing arena, right? So again, it's I always tell people, I've got three boys. I've got a sophomore in college, a sophomore in high school, and a 13-year-old, right? And my oldest son, he's kind of I think he's kind of gotten bitten by the engineering bug. He's a mechanical engineering student, loves to weld, loves to build, loves to tinker. So I kind of see that going, but I also tell my boys and their friends, hey, there's a job, there's a career that you can have making stuff.
Exactly.
Right? And it's very intriguing, and making stuff doesn't mean you have to go to be an engineer. I mean, making stuff could be, maybe you go to a trade school and you become a user of a work truck. Maybe you start maybe you start working in HVAC or electrical or plumbing or, millworking and stuff. And there's a lot of good careers out there.
Were you pretty handsy as a child?
Oh my gosh. You want to ask my mom that question? Because if my mom was here, hey mom up there, but if she was still with us and if you would ask her if I was handsy, there was usually something that was always torn apart around the house. And my dad had a saying. My dad always had told me, and still tells me today, if you don't try to repair it at least once, it's not time to take it to the shop.
There you go. There
Okay,
you go. I like that.
so at any given time, there was either an old lawnmower taken apart, or a go kart with a front end ripped apart, or as I got older, there were cars that were torn apart, and it's just part of the deal.
I'm going to tell you this. One of the things that I hope that guys listening to the show, men, women, all, I want you guys to learn from our collective experience. And one of the things I'm going to tell you is I was mechanically inclined as a donut, dude. I couldn't fix nothing, man. My dad would get so frustrated with me, and they bring home these puzzles, and I go, "See, Dad, I'm done," and half the parts would still be in the box.
Yeah, but isn't that what makes it cool about our industry today?
Absolutely.
You think about it, and I get the opportunity to meet a lot of people who either visit us in Quincy, Illinois, or we visit them out in the field, and they're using our trucks, right? And I always am intrigued. It's great to see the truck, but what I'm always intrigued about, okay, what are you guys putting in the truck, right? And you can tell, like, there's trucks that are just super organized, right? You can tell what that person is like. Then you see the truck where there's like all kinds of stuff in the
chaos,
right? But that chaos is the impetus, is the starting point for making something work, or thinking about okay, I got to get this bulldozer running in the field for this mining company, and man, I might need to put something together, and I got to have this stuff, right? And that's frankly, that's awesome to see, but it's also a challenge from the vehicle part of it on, how do we accommodate all these various needs?
Are you seeing any women entering into the workforce on the manufacturing side, engineering side? Where do
absolutely. I'm telling you what, I think, we are seeing more and more women entering our workforce. We're seeing, and it's great. Okay. Whether it's within our facility at our plant for manufacturing, whether it's out in the field at our customer base, it's awesome. I'll just give you a personal story about this. I'm very active. My family, my wife and I and my kids were active in our local Boy Scout Council. At our annual dinner this year, we honored the first female Eagle Scout in our council.
Okay.
Awesome. And she's going to VOTEC school next year to become a heavy duty diesel mechanic.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And she has got her stuff together, and I was very excited for her. I spent about half an hour talking to her, asking her questions and learning about what she wants to do, what are her dreams and passions and stuff. And, she's come to the realization that, what, hey, being a mechanic doesn't mean you're just, you're turning the wrench, but more importantly, she really finds the intriguing of the diagnostics part of it. Right.
I can see that.
I mean, when you're tearing up a large diesel engine now, it's not just like, oh, I hear the knock. It's like, okay, plug this in, analyze this, do this, figure that out, and then, come up with a plan to fix the problem, through diagnosis, not just by tearing it all apart. Right.
I like that. And you're one of the few guys I've had a chance to really talk about women in the trades. And it's nice to hear that we're seeing more and more women enter into the vocational trades and working on the line.
Sure.
I'm gonna shift the conversation over a little bit back over to Knapheide and your bodies. So my experience again with Knapheide has been originally on the light duty application. So you had the 8-foot service body that went on a single rear wheel.
Yep.
And then you had the 9-foot service body, and you had the dualies, and that was, and then you had the various KUV iterations. But then one day you guys decided to get into what I call the line body.
Yeah.
The line body business.
Sure.
And eventually it came to become what they call the KMT1, KMT2 series. What led you to see an opportunity specifically in that space to where you wanted to be a player in it?
So, KMT1, KMT2 is, basically the 3-letter acronym stands for Knapheide Mechanics Truck. And, the evolution from a plain 8-foot service body, a 696 service body, all the way up into those other arenas was kind of a natural fit for us. I mean, if you think about the progression of where if you understand our company and where we've progressed from a technical standpoint, our engineering, our manufacturing capabilities, our ability to integrate multiple products and technologies and solution sets into a complete body package, moving up the chain was just a natural progression. Our KMT 1 and 2, our KMT product line is a fully integrated crane truck. And it's purposely designed, built, and specified to meet the needs of the mobile mechanic, mobile technician. And frankly, now, more than saying it's got a crane, it's got a compressor, it's got this, now more than ever, it's how do all those systems communicate, right? So whether it's through the integrated control systems that the vehicle comes with, or whether it's our ability to build our own control systems to integrate everything, that's what makes it reliable, efficient, and more operational friendly for the mobile mechanic that's out there trying to make it work. So again, it's been a natural progression for us, and we really take pride in what we're doing and what those trucks bring to the market.
So one of the things that you've probably noticed, because I'm sure you've met tons and tons of customers on the floor, is service truck guys. They could be pretty snobby, right? They could be pretty persnickety, I think the word is, and they all have their favorites. And there's a bunch of folks that are loyal to Knapheide, and then there's guys that are naysayers. So let's talk a little bit about your approach to the bodies. In, for example, your decisions to use steel versus aluminum, how you put your bodies together, your partnership with Stellar, and the controls, just because I remember it was a few years back when you redesigned that KMT for two bodies.
Yeah.
So let's talk specifically, because this audience is very sophisticated. They need a reason why they might want to consider a Knapheide for their next truck.
I would say that this group, the group that we're talking to, you guys are particular. Okay.
Very much so.
You guys are particular, and you have very specific, I would say specific technical and I'll just say it, specific technical and personal needs and wants for what you're going to spend on this vehicle. And I'm telling you what, it's not a small amount of money anymore. We all know that, right?
Absolutely.
But on the flip side of that, sometimes we see people saying, well, I need this. And then we ask the question, well, why do you really need that? Well, that's what I've had on my last 10 trucks. Okay. And sometimes we need to have a deeper discussion to show you, okay, what are the other options to be more efficient, or maybe facilitate the product, as it's built and such. To that end, I'm going to tell you what a really cool thing that we've done here in the last year and a half at Knapheide. We've launched a team called our Solutions Engineering Team. Okay. So if you're looking to buy a vehicle, a custom body, or any vehicle, and you're working with your local dealer or one of our distributors, they can call our Solutions Engineering Team in Quincy, and we have a combined seniority of over 150 years in that group. Okay. Our top our top engineers will get on the phone with you guys and with you and your Knapheide rep and say, hey, what are you trying to accomplish? Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. Here's my truck today. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. Okay. And we will try to put together, here's the best package possible to say, this is how you get there.
I get it. So what you've done is we have a little bit of a brain drain in the country.
Sure.
So not everybody at all your local distributors and your local, facilities has that knowledge base. So what you did is you created a facility back in Quincy that is accessible by anybody in the country.
Yeah.
They just make an appointment with their local distributor, their local contact, and then you guys will have a conference call, and those folks are trained and knowledgeable, and they can come with solutions.
KJ, what we're seeing today is a couple issues. Number one, the vehicles are getting complicated.
Very much so.
Okay. So whether it's control systems, whether it's certification, whether it's, hey, can the vehicle handle the body that I want it to? Right. It's not an easy puzzle. Right.
Well, and you factor in, let's say, whether it's going to be PTO driven, if it's going to be electric, whether it's going to be
all that
full
stuff.
Electric. There's so many variables now.
The second piece of this is the vehicles are getting complicated. The second piece is the amount of equipment, just the availability, and let's just say the smorgasbord of equipment that's out there is pretty vast.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, we have access to working with other equipment manufacturers or accessory manufacturers. We have that information, right? So for us to be able to pull that together and say, okay, this PTO will work for this because it will do that to run that crane or this compressor or, this tailgate, right? To put all that together for, an an end user can be daunting. Okay. But that's what we want to do is we want to provide that service to do that. Now, I always get the question, well, what do you mean? Don't you just want to sell an Knapheide body? And I'm like, well, of course I want to sell an Knapheide body. But the reality is, and the reality that we've come to realize is that the moment somebody takes a truck off of a dealership lot, let's just say they buy a standard service body truck. Okay. Literally, the moment that truck leaves the lot, the person driving that truck that signed the paper is trying to think about, how do I fit my toolbox in it? Where do I do this? I'm going to have bungee cords here. I need to have a tie down there. So the issue is, the challenge is the truck has to be the perfect canvas to allow for the paint to stick to it,
Amen.
to create a picture, right?
Amen.
And our job at Knapheide, our passion at Knapheide is to make sure that that truck is right for the end user, right? So we've got to make sure that, the canvas, or if anybody knows me, I like to talk about food, the crust of that pizza, right, is perfect. And then the toppings that go on it are going to vary. And we've got to acknowledge that and make sure that we're providing the right technical assistance to make sure that those toppings will work.
So a few years ago, you guys had a major business shift in that when I came 20 years ago, you guys had a pure distributor model. And then you made a decision to acquire a bunch of former distributors and make them Knapheide, affiliated facilities. And you've got how many now? 30?
Yeah. And I want to just kind of re-guide you on that.
Okay.
We view our Knapheide truck equipment centers around the country. We've got 30 of them. We view them as our distributor network.
Oh, okay.
They are distributors. So overall, we have 250 distributors around the country. All right.
So they don't give a preference. They're equal to the.
Yes.
Okay.
We treat them just like every distributor. We work with, we like to help. We like to foster collaboration amongst our distributors.
Okay.
Meaning, hey, if we have a customer that needs to get stuff done here and there, well, we've got distributors to make it work, right? And we're really proud of that heritage of us having an independent and own distributor network. We feel like that is the most important piece of the puzzle to make sure that we're connecting with the OEM dealers as well as the end users to make sure we can get them what they need.
So as I see it, then that translates to a benefit to the end user, because now we have a nationwide network of repair facilities that can assist them. Am I correct?
If anything goes wrong with your truck and it's something that's covered, if anything goes wrong with your vehicle or the body or the equipment that's installed and you need help, go to one of our distributors, our distributor lookups on our website, and they can get in touch with our customer support group and we'll help take care of what the issue is, right? Whether it's technical assistance to figure out what we need to repair, whether it's repair parts, whether it's, warranty coverage, all of that stuff is facilitated through our distributor network, and they help make it happen.
If a guy has a problem, he's running a KMT2 and it's got a Stellar crane on it and he's got an issue, who does he call? Does he call the Knapheide distributor or does he call Stellar?
He can call us and we will have either A, we'll have a technician out to service it, or B, we can overnight ship all Stellar parts to all of our repair points. At the same token, if he decides to call Stellar's going to service it as well, right? So, our relationship with Stellar is very robust, and as both companies have the same goal: keeping the trucks running and making sure our end users are productive. So, we're really happy with that.
One of the things that I've found, and part of the reason why I made this decision to do Service Trucks USA, is that I just have great admiration for all these body companies. I mean, there was a time back when I was a youngster when there was a noticeable drop off in quality between company A and company B. But, that saying, rising sea floats all boats. In order to be in the game, you had to step up and compete. And I think for the most part, all the manufacturers are doing a phenomenal job. And, and I like Knapheide, and it's funny when one of the guys that runs an Knapheide, he has one, he feels defensive, because it's not one of the elite brands or something like that. But when I look at it and I get up close and personal, I find that it's a very good, high quality, well built tool that can get the job done. And so I like you guys. Now I'm going to change the story again because I wanted to share something. I'm going to tell you share a story. And I'm going to let you finish it about my experience with Knapheide and one of the reasons why I became such a big Knapheide fan early on in my commercial truck career. I was flown out to Quincy, in the company jet. Never been on a company jet before. That was really cool. Got there and I got a chance to see the whole manufacturing process, which was very impressive. But then I heard the story about the Great Flood.
Oh boy, yeah.
Okay, so I want you to share with everybody else that story because, and let me tell you why. Because to be an American, to be proud of who we are as a people,
Yep.
and to see the resilience and character and just power of the American people when we are working together, man, I was ready to jump up and down and do my flag. But I want to hear the story from you.
So it's for those of you that know or may not know where Quincy, Illinois is. We're a town in Midwestern Illinois on the Mississippi River. Okay. So the mighty Mississippi flows through, we Quincy was built as a river town, and it's been the source of health and commerce and economic wealth, because that was what it was built around, was river commerce. But on the flip side, the mighty Mississippi can get pretty raucous. And when it starts getting overflowed and filled, that's when we've actually dealt with two major floods in our plant, in our operations. We had the flood of 73, and then the flood of 93, which basically both floods basically engulfed our primary manufacturing facility at the time. And then in 2019, the river hit record stages again, and it took our entire company and the community all pitching in to relocate relocate our entire facility, the contents of our facility, I should say, over the bridge to the high side of the river. But then we were spared a flood at that point, right? But yeah, it's a big deal. We pride ourselves on fighting through adversity, and the two big adversity points were those two floods in our recent history. But honestly, if you think back 176 years, lots of two world wars, all kinds of stuff that the company's been through, pandemics, we should say that now, So the history is what defines us, but the future is what we're excited about and is gonna go forward. But you also mentioned you came to visit, and it's part of our DNA. It's part of our it's just who we are as a family company. We want people to come visit us in Quincy, Illinois. So we do bring customers in. Typically, we have 4 to 5 customer groups in a week. We enjoy meeting with end customers and dealers and our distributors. We love having lunch with you guys when you come in, just to talk about life, talk about, hey, how things going out there. We learn a lot as we do that, but most importantly, we get to learn about our customers and who they are, and then obviously like to show you our facilities, talk about the products you have, and then try to get you home in time. I like to say, try to get you home in time for dinner, and then go from there.
Hey, it was a thrill to do it. And it's funny, when I went to work for Summit, I remembered my mindset, how I completely changed my mindset after I visited the plant.
Oh, yeah.
It completely transformed me. I could give that pitch in my sleep,
Yeah, I still remember 11 years ago, when I kind of called it my first fly-in, was when I came in to meet with Bo Knapheide and Knapheide at the time, as I was considering working for the company. And when you come visit our company, it's hard not to leave with this feeling inside of you that there's something special, when you come to visit our company in Quincy, Illinois. And when I joined the company and realized that special is the fact that, hey, it is a company, it is a growing enterprise. However, it's the family values that bring it back. And like everybody in the United States, at the end of the day, what do you have? You have your faith, your family, and your friends, right?
Amen.
And at the end of the day, it's like that is what cements our culture. That's what cements our progress moving forward. And frankly, that's what's helped us become the company that we are today, are those three things.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. And it's interesting. This is a brand new venture for me, and I'm stepping out on faith. But I wanted you guys to experience this with me, and I wanted you to see here and say, look, I'm hanging with the vice president of a multi-million dollar company, and he took time out of his busy schedule to hang out with me so that you could experience this and let you know that Knapheide cares. I mean, these guys absolutely care about you as individuals. I mean, we know the challenges that you're facing. We know these silly trucks are getting ridiculously expensive. And I wanted you to connect with these guys in a way that you can feel that they're real people behind the decisions that are being made, not a bunch of corporate suits and bean counters that are just doing everything that they can to extract profit, out of your pockets. So it's really cool that you took the time to hang out with Mandar, because I can't tell you how excited I am about our future as an industry, because we're going to get together, all these guys, these mechanics, we're going to get together and we're going to keep pushing you guys to build better products.
I'd expect no less. I mean, that push is what keeps us going. And and there's a lot going on in our industry. Equipment, the cost of capital is high.
Absolutely.
Okay. The intensity to deliver the capital is at an all-time high, right? So demand is high right now. And when that demand is high, it pushes it challenges the capacity of our manufacturing limits and things. And, it's an interesting time right now.
Before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about lead times, availability. Sure. What's going on right now at Knapheide in terms of availability?
That's probably the biggest topic in the show for all manufacturers is lead times. What are we doing about lead times? And admittedly, lead times are long right now, right? Part of that is, people ask me, well, why are they so long? What happened? And frankly, it's a simple answer. Our factories, at least in Knapheide and our upfitting centers, are running at record pace. 2023 was a record year for production, but it was also a record year for demand. Okay. So, as the sales leader the sales and marketing leader in the company, I'm like, yay, we built X number of bodies. Yay, we took in X plus Y number of orders. And frankly, we're doing whatever we can to catch up. My recommendation to all of you out there listening is this. Okay. I know you're busy doing your daily jobs. You're going out there, you're fixing things, you're building things, you're digging things, right? The one thing you need to do is really have a forward view on what your equipment needs are going to be. Okay. It's easier said than done. I'm going to tell you that it's easier said than done. However, if you really think about when the lead times are going to hurt, okay, if you wait until the minute that your truck is dead or dying, or you wait until the minute that you get that contract, have to double up your workforce, and then you go to look for a truck, that lead time is going to be kind of tough. Right?
Especially if you have a specific need.
Exactly. Yeah. So what I would recommend is, hey, take a moment and really start thinking ahead about, okay, hey, maybe if I'm looking at this next year, I might need to think about replacing this vehicle, right? And have that conversation with your dealer, have that conversation with your equipment distributor, sales outlet, and say, hey, if I was thinking about this coming up, what do I need to consider, right?
Absolutely.
And getting ahead of that curve is what's going to help you, possibly get around some of the lead time issues.
One of the goals here at Service Trucks USA is we are a community that consists of multiple stakeholders. We've got the mechanics, we got the guys that employ the mechanics, the shop owners, but we also have vendors, key vendors, compressor manufacturer guys and welder guys, but we also have a dealer body that's part of it. And guess what? I know you guys, some of you don't like salespeople, but they're real people too, and they got families. But one of the things we're doing here that's going to be a little different is they're going to get vetted. They're going to get run through a little ringer by me, and they have to meet my standards and ultimately your standards before we even let them in our club. But there will be a group of dealers that are in our community that you can feel confident in, that they're going to be knowledgeable, experienced. They're going to be able to deliver some of the things that Mandar's talking about, and you're going to feel confident in working with him. So we're building a family here, and I can't thank you enough, my brother, for taking the time out and hanging with me, man. It's
KJ,
been
I'm telling you
awesome.
what, I appreciate you coming by the booth and telling me what you're trying to do. I love doing these types of things. And again, whatever, if you want me to come back and talk about other topics, or I can dial in, whatever we need to do.
I'm not letting you go, bro. You're on my bus now, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you what. But I do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's time. And again, at Knapheide, on behalf of our company and our over 2,000 employees around the country, we appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And we hope to see you in a Knapheide truck, or continue driving your Knapheide truck here in the future. So thank you for having me on.
My pleasure, man. So, hey, guys, I told you I got some badass friends. Here's another one. Thanks. All right. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.
KJ signing off. Subscribe right now to Service Trucks USA on your favorite platform so you'll never miss an episode. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Service Trucks USA. That's Service TRUX USA, where you'll get even more great content, discussions, and resources related to vocational service trucks. I look forward to getting to know each of you better. Until then, keep your fingers dirty and your nose clean. This is your guy, your man, your dude, KJ, signing off.